All right, dude, we are live. What's up, guys? This is Dem Keys, and today we are probably going to be looking into TensorBoard. Or yeah, we're going to be looking into TensorBoard. Dude, I've been trying to get the stream started for the past, I don't know, hour and a half. I've had to restart my laptop a good like 4 to 5 times because each time there would be some issue because of which the system would hang in some way or another. And yeah, it was just not a good time. Also, I wasn't able to get my Ubuntu on WSL started. Give me a second. Yeah, I wasn't able to get Ubuntu started on WSL. I'm still trying to do that, but it doesn't seem to be working out that well, which is fine. Um, just as long as I'm able to stream today, I'm okay with how things are going right now. That's also why the bottom left window is not showing. It's only the top right and the mid right, lower right. I think mid right window. There's only two windows showing on stream. By the way, real quick, I wanted to talk about this because yesterday I got this idea. See, um, the other day I uploaded a highlight from one of the streams. It was the stream. It was the yeah. It was the stream where I wrote the logic for update metadata, batch update metadata. Um, Almost all of it. I highlighted almost all of it, and I posted. I tried doing the editing thing, but then it just wasn't working out. So I posted the entire unedited clip to YouTube and TikTok. I wanted to try and post it on Instagram and Threads as well, but I believe Threads has its own limitation, and Instagram had a 30 minutes limitation for reels. And the VOD that I was the highlight, the video that I was trying to upload, it was 36 minutes or something like that. So I didn't post it on Instagram. I tried posting it on X, but for some reason the upload kept failing, so I just kind of gave up on it. I just posted it on YouTube and on TikTok. That, however, gave me an idea. I was wondering, since I am working on this content pipeline and I'm working on creating clips, I'm working on an automated pipeline that's gonna create clips out of the VODs that I feed into it. Why not work on some logic to also generate highlights? So if clips are, let's say, between 30 seconds and 5 minutes, highlights can be anywhere between 5 minutes to, let's say, 15 minutes or 5 minutes to 20 minutes. And then I got the idea to also reduce dead air because I'm not, I am constantly, words, I am constantly talking throughout the stream, but there are moments of dead air, there are moments of silence in the stream. So if I do clip something, the moments of silence also get clipped. And if I want to get rid of it, I would have to use some sort of tool to do that, some sort of video editing application, either something that does it in an automated manner, or I'll just manually go and remove the silence, which is it's really manual. Like it's tedious. I don't want to do it. So I wanted to try and find an automated way to do it. And because I've been using FFmpeg a whole lot, like, dude, holy shit, this tool is, I've mentioned this multiple times. This tool is a beast. This tool is insane. Dude, the amount of things that you can do with this tool, it is crazy. One of the things, so in the past, I've mainly only been doing simple stuff like splitting out audio and um, transcoding audio as well, and slicing. And even with slicing, I wasn't re-encoding the video. I was literally just cutting it at certain points. So it, because it's not re-encoding the video, so there's a chance that there might be minor frame freezes at the seam where you've made the cut, or there might be like a black screen or something because there might be like missing information. And that's not that big of a problem for me. I wasn't, that wasn't going to be that big of an issue, at least with the stuff that I'm trying to do. Though with the clips, I would definitely want a good quality kind of cut. And so I was talking to Gemini about this. I was like, hey, I have this idea, because I've been using FFmpeg for other stuff. I want to try and use it for this thing as well. I want to try and remove. Initially, my idea was going to be, initially, my question to Gemini was, which model should I use to determine the timestamps where there's a lot of silence? Or if you have any other suggestions, something that doesn't involve models, you can throw that in as well. And Gemini suggested that, yeah, while you can go the model route, you don't have to, because models for this would be overkill depending on what you're trying to do. If it's just about finding silence in the video, there's simple algorithms you can apply to that. In fact, you don't even have to implement the math yourself. You can pass something into FFmpeg. There's a filter, and this is where the concept of filters comes in FFmpeg, because through filters you are able to do a bunch of different operations on videos, whether it's reading specific types of information or removing certain types of information, or I don't know if adding. I think adding information might be a thing as well. But there's a lot of different operations that you can do through the concept of filters. So what Gemini suggested is that while you can analyze the audio data and then the measure the amplitude of the signal to determine, what is and isn't moments of silence. While you could do that, you could also use FFmpeg, because FFmpeg has a built-in tool called, hold on, let me open up that conversation. I don't remember the name of the filter. Just a second. Linux keyring. Oh, I was also looking into the keyring thing yesterday, because I was looking into the YouTube data API thing for automating uploads. I was studying that upload script because I'm gonna have to customize it to a certain extent. I also got some more ideas. For stuff that I could do, stuff that I could automate, because I noticed a bunch of extra fields in there, like category and keywords, which is basically tags, not hashtags, tags for the video. And while, according to YouTube, tags don't necessarily contribute towards SEO all that much, I'm still gonna populate it because, the the process is being automated anyways, so I might as well just, add in this extra bit of info. So I kind of I made some changes here. Do I have the dummy data thing open? Give me a second. Let's do this and this. Yeah. So I made some changes to the metadata format. Initially, it was just three fields. It was title, description, hashtags, keywords, category. No, sorry. It was only title, description, and previously it was called tags. I wasn't calling it hashtags back then, but then now I'm changing it up. There's going to be hashtags, which is what was going to be tags before. It was basically supposed to be hashtags that get generated, which I'll then append to the description, because hashtags go into the description and tags go into the tags field. And then I have the keywords field, which I added, which is what's going to be the tags for the video. Then there's a category. I'll depending on what I'm doing, depending on what kind of stream it is, I'll get Gemini to label the thing with one of the categories, because I believe YouTube, not YouTube, but that page mentioned that there are, I think, 22 categories. Hold on. Category, okay, the default, oh no, the default value is 22. The category ID for the YouTube video category associated with so and so. And the default is 22, which refers to people and blogs. I need to see what the entire list is, and then I'll just create this list, and I'll get one of the LLMs to, or any of the NLP related models to read the video summary, the generated video summary, and then I can use a zero shot classification model to, because with zero shot classification, you can provide your own labels. So I can then give the list of categories, and it can categorize them into whatever. Mine, I think mostly it's going to be, what's the list here? Hold on. I need to see the list of possible values. Use cases list. This example retrieves a list of categories that can be associated with a YouTube video. A list for specific region. Okay. What are we looking at here? Right. This is not giving me the info that I need. I can Google it later on. But yeah, I'm gonna create like a list of the categories, and then um I'll feed that into the, actually, should I, I'm wondering if I should create like a top three categories choices. Wait, if I should create a top three categories choices list. Holy shit, why was that so hard to say? Yeah, okay. I'm wondering if I should create like a top three categories choices list, um, so I can then later choose. Though I don't think I'm going to be choosing. I'm trying to make this as automated as possible. But like, what if two labels get high scores? Do I still go with whichever one has the most, or the highest score? Because I feel like the zero shot classification model would classify it pretty well. And I also feel like the majority of my, I don't even know what the list is. Um, I'm not getting a list here by looking. I'm checking on another machine. I'm not getting a list of. Wait, okay. Oh, let me ask Gemini. Let me open up a new Gemini instance and ask over here. Hey, so I'm planning on using the YouTube data API to automate video uploads. I'm having trouble finding the list of possible categories. Do you have the list? Automating your uploads is a great, okay, all that is fine. Below is a standard list of category IDs for the United States. Note that the API to accept your upload, what? Note that for the API to accept your upload, the category must be marked as assignable true, which the common ones below are. Okay. Um, okay. All right. So, there's film and animation, there's autos and vehicles, there's music, pets and animals, sports, travel and events, gaming, people and blogs, comedy, entertainment, news and politics, how to and style, education, science and technology, nonprofits, and activism. Okay. Um, wait, you mentioned something about assignable. Explain that. In the world of the YouTube API, not all categories are created equal. Just because a category exists in YouTube's database doesn't mean you are allowed to assign your video to it. The assignable property is the Boolean true/false flag returned by the API for every category object. It acts as a gatekeeper for your automation script. Why does this exist? YouTube uses certain categories for internal. Oh, okay. YouTube uses certain categories for internal organization or specific high-level content that regular users and most API keys cannot access. Assignable true, these are the standard categories you see in the YouTube Studio dropdown, like gaming or education. Your script can successfully upload videos to these. And assignable false, these categories are read-only. They might exist for legacy reasons, for specific movie studio partnerships, or for internal YouTube grouping. If your script tries to upload a video with using one of these tag IDs, the API will throw a 400 bad request error. Okay, all right. So I guess I just need to do a little Google search about uh, which categories are assignable. I'll get the proper list, and then I can create like a dictionary out of it, a dictionary of the labels. So we have the label and its associated ID. And then I can create a list out of the keys of that dictionary and feed that as the list of possible labels for the zero shot classification model. And once we get the result, then we can assign that category. Awesome. Um, I'm wondering what I should do for tags and hashtags. Like, should I just okay, for tags, I don't mind letting the model decide tags based on the summary that gets generated. I don't mind letting the model decide based on that. For hashtags, I need like two or three that I want to like always use. I want to always have those tags, those hashtags present there. And then aside from those, there can be two or three auto-generated tags that pertain to, you know, something in the VOD. Also, another reason why I want to create highlights. I don't remember if I mentioned this because I did mention that I wanted to try and create highlights out of this pipeline, not just clips. But yeah, I want to also automate the process of uploading the highlights to my second channel. So my first channel is where I used to do Unity tutorials. My second channel is what I turned into my sort of creative outlet where I can just post whatever I want. So on that channel now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quote unquote edit these highlights and then generate their metadata and upload them to the. Oh, hold on. If I generate the metadata for that could be a problem. Wait. None words. Hold on. That could be a problem. That that could get a little bit complicated. Because okay, here's why I'm saying that that could be a problem. This is the metadata for one VOD. Okay? One VOD gets okay. No. Hold on. Yeah, so one gets um VOD gets processed into multiple clips, and now it's also going to get processed into multiple highlights. The clips will go up on social media, um, but the the highlights are gonna, because the highlights are slightly longer form videos, right? They're definitely gonna go up on my YouTube. At the very least, they're gonna go up on YouTube. I might upload them to TikTok and X as well, but it's definitely going up on YouTube. That's for sure. And because it's going up on YouTube, so I kind of need um, what was I saying? Yeah, because it's going up on YouTube, I need to. What was I saying? Where was I going with this? Because it's going up on YouTube. Oh yeah, because the highlight is going up on YouTube, it's gonna have to have um, a bunch of the similar data that we have here. So like we have the VOD itself, right? The VOD title. We have a description for the VOD. We have um, hashtags, keywords, category, and the uploaded flag as well. Um, we're gonna have, so this is for one VOD, but then I'm also gonna have to have it for each of each of the highlights. So how am I gonna handle that situation? Because I mean, I could now, okay, this brings another question. How do I want to go about um, handling these the clips, and how do I want to go about handling the clips and highlights? Do I also want to generate, title and description and hashtags, keywords, and so on for those clips and highlights as well? Because I can, like, all I have to do is analyze the NLP, use NLP to analyze the transcript. All I have to do is analyze the transcript for that specific, section, and immediately I can generate keywords. I can generate the category, the hashtags. Though, if I am posting this on YouTube, if there are smaller clips, the smaller clips get uploaded as shorts, not as. Yeah, I need to hold on. I need to ask Gemini this question. Hey, so I'm wondering something. When you use the YouTube web UI to upload, and you upload something that is below, um, is it below 3 minutes? I think it's below 3 minutes. Yeah, below 3 minutes, the video automatically gets uploaded as a short, and the amount of info you would input in a short is different from the amount for a long video. How is this distinguished, or how is this what is the word for like when something is distinguished? There was, how is this, what is, no, hold on, I'm not able to think of the word distinguish. um for some reason I'm thinking of distinguishedness, which I'm not entirely sure that's even a word. It says, okay, distinguishedness is a rare, non-standard, and often proscribed noun referring to something being distinguishable. Distinguishability, there you go, that's the word I was looking for. And distinctness, that's another possible one as well. Distinguishability. Now, what was I talking? Yeah, okay. How is the distinguishability handled? Handled between the two. Actually, there's a bit of misconception here. The YouTube Data API does not have a Shorts category. Unlike the web UI, which changes the layout and options based on the video length and aspect ratio, the YouTube API treats Shorts and long-form videos exactly the same. They are both just YouTube hash video sources. Oh, that's probably a certain way that YouTube recognizes the type of upload. That's probably something to do with their own API. Here's how that distinguishability actually works under the hood. The logic is automatic. The distinction is the word I was looking for. How is that distinction handled? That is the word I was looking for. For some reason, my brain was going towards distinguishability, distinguishedness. Anyways, the distinction is made by a flag you send. It's determined. No, hold on. The distinction isn't. The distinction isn't made by a flag you send. It's determined by YouTube's processing engine after the upload is complete. YouTube looks at two specific criteria: duration, which must be, wait, back up, back up. I wasn't paying attention to what I was reading. The distinction isn't made by a flag you send. It's determined by YouTube's processing engine after the upload is complete. Okay, YouTube looks at two specific criteria: duration, which must be 60 seconds or less. Note while you mentioned 3 minutes, the official cutoff for shorts, for the shorts self and vertical player, is currently 60 seconds. Why did I think 3 minutes was a thing? Because I have actually uploaded videos that are a couple minutes long, but less than 3 minutes, and I have been able to upload them as shorts, or they were only uploading as shorts, rather I should say. They weren't uploading as anything else. Okay. Anyways, if if your API upload meets both, it will automatically be funneled into the Shorts player and appear on the Shorts shelf. Metadata handling. You mentioned that the info you input is different. In reality, the API allows you to send the same metadata, like title, descriptions, tags, category, regardless of the video type. Okay, title up to 100 characters, description up to so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. Pro tip: to ensure the algorithm categorizes it correctly immediately, it is common practice to include the hashtag shorts in the title or description when using the API, even though the aspect ratio is the primary trigger. Aspect ratio, I'm not changing the aspect ratio. Yeah, dude, I just realized that I am not changing the aspect ratio. Currently, it's remaining in its 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and I'm planning on uploading them in 16 by 9 as well. At a later time, I might come up with some clever way to set up, like how the YouTube clipping system has a thing where you can select what the vertical layout looks like, and in the vertical layout, you'll be given two boxes, two rects, two regions that you can like customize the sizes of. So, for example, if like this specific layout, it works really well for showing something in the top half and showing something in the bottom half of the screen. So if you have like a VTuber model, then the VTuber model can be on top, and it can take up, let's say, I don't know, 1/3 of the screen. And then you can set it up so the the remaining 2/3 of the screen is gonna be the video or whatever content you're trying to show. So I could try to set up a region kind of thing there. I should see if there's a way to set up something like that in Instagram edits, because edits, you can do a lot in Instagram edits. You can do a lot in the TikTok player as well. You know what? No, I should look into I should explore the features of both of these, because if even if there's a bit of like manual work involved, I don't mind doing it. I can automate the process later on if need be. Um, but yeah, a tiny bit of manual editing is not really that big of an issue, especially if I'm getting the entire clip, like all of the other work is being done for me. Um, you know, generating the clip, generating all the metadata for it, or generating the highlight, generating all the metadata for it, and so on. If all of that is being handled for me, then I don't mind doing like the little bit of manual editing before uploading the clip. Um, that being said, okay, so this then does bring us back to this thing, um, because okay, maybe I shouldn't be uploading clips to YouTube automatically. I'll upload the clips manually. The clips, if I'm being honest, they weren't even meant for YouTube. Um, the clips were supposed to be for social media, so TikTok, Instagram, um, Threads, and X. So what I could do is I could generate some extra data with each clip. Oh, I'm gonna have to. How do I go about navigating this? Because okay, it seems like we are gonna need. Hold on, let me open up Yahtzee here. So if we are talking about this, let's remove some root. I don't think I need this because yeah, I'm doing the dummy data thing now, so I don't need this. So we have video, we have audio, then from the audio from the video we generate the audio, or we split out the audio. From the audio we generate the transcript. From the transcript we generate the metadata, and after that is done, we bundle up the data. We haven't done any of the clipping just yet. This bundling of the data, I hold on. How do I want to go about doing this? I need to sit down and think about how I want to go about setting this whole thing up. Though I'm super glad about the fact that Gemini taught me how to. I still have to test that out, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna work. Gemini taught me how to set up a filter that's gonna work alongside with another filter, which was for I don't know if that's called a filter though. Anyways, that thing is responsible for telling me which sections are silent sections, or rather, it's going to tell me which sections are not the silent sections. I don't remember which one it is. It's either or. Either way, I'm going to find out which sections are silent and which sections are not silent, and it's going to give me timestamps of those sections. And then based on that, I can feed those timestamps into the filter to get it to essentially remove parts that I tell it to remove, and it'll also then re-encode the video properly. So the advantage there is that the video is going to be re-encoded later on, meaning we are not going to have um, audio desync issues. We are not going to have frame freeze issues unless the frame freeze was already present in the video from the beginning. At least from this operation, we're not going to have frame we're not going to have black frames, we're not going to have frame freezes, we're not going to have any sort of like artifacting going on. That's the advantage of doing it through ffmpeg and letting it re-encode the entire video. So this way what happens is ffmpeg is gonna it's gonna decode the video first. So it's gonna load up the video, decode it, and then it's gonna remove whatever segments I tell it to remove, and then it's gonna stitch back all of the data together because I've removed some segments. So segments that are actually present, they need to be stitched back together, because once you remove some segments, it doesn't automatically stitch the data. It just leaves empty spaces in there. And there are certain settings that you can do or that you can specify, or rather, I should say, commands that you can specify in the filter in order to get it to stitch that data back up together, and also reset its internal clock for you know what time is associated with what sample and what frame and so on. It does all of that. Like if you set it up properly, it's going to do all of that, and you're going to get a nice you're going to get a nice edited video as a result. I do need to test this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out a segment, let's say, I don't know, a 5-minute segment or a 3-minute segment out of one of my streams where I know that there are talking parts and there are silent parts as well. And then I'll apply this filter and see what the result is. If this works out well, we are going to have a content pipeline that is able to produce clips, because I'm definitely gonna apply the same logic to clips as well. In fact, what I'm gonna do is, before I wasn't planning on editing the clips. I was planning on leaving the, what do you call it? I was planning on leaving the dead air, the silence in the clips. So the clips would have been a little too long, but now I can easily squeeze more content into a span of 30 seconds to 3 minutes. I can easily squeeze more content into that, and there's much more content can be squeezed into the span of 3 minutes to 15 minutes. So if the entire clip is, if the entire clip itself ends up being, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or something, and then when we remove all of the silence, it ends up being maybe, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes. That's like, dude, that's golden. We have an amazing pipeline there. Now, I need to sit down and think about how I want to go about doing this, because it kind of seems like I'm going to need, what am I thinking of here? So we'll have clips. No, delete that. We'll have clips. and we'll have highlights. But then that's a problem, because the idea is that the entire video gets bundled up into, well, bundles. Let me show it through temp. The idea is that every VOD gets bundled up into these types of bundles, right? And okay, we are not doing any further processing on the clips and the highlights. I feel like I need to remember that part. We are not doing any further processing. We are also not gonna, what do you call it? We're also not going to be doing any audio splitting, because any sort of removal of silence, it's all going to be done through. Let me actually show you guys what Gemini was suggesting. I can copy paste the thing. Linux keyring, detecting silence in videos. Is there a similar thing it does for sounds? Oh yeah, dude, this went into like a whole conversation of me trying to understand how desyncs can occur, and it was very informative. It was very enlightening, very educational. I'm not going to read out that entire thing because it was a very long conversation of me, clearing all my doubts about how a video, how you could end up cutting in between audio samples, how you could cause a desync between audio and video. If audio and video are being cut up at different times, how exactly is it that a desync occurs? Why can't they just be like quote unquote pasted with those same timestamps? But then it doesn't work that way, right? If you are making a cut at a certain time, let's say 10 minutes in the video, you make a cut, but the audio, the way that the audio samples are laid out, let's say if it's 48,000 samples per second and it's mono audio. What was I saying? Yeah, let's say it's 48,000 samples per second and it's mono audio. Um, it's not necessary that your 10-minute mark is going to line up exactly, in between two samples. It could be in between one sample, and then you have to like pick whether that sample goes in or not. And there you can have a slight desync. There can also be a desync between where you are able to cut in the audio track and where you are able to cut in the video track. There's a limitation there as well. Fortunately, when you are dealing with decoded video frames, so it's not encoded video frames that you're slicing into. You've actually decoded them, and you have like each of the frames present there. You get a little more granularity in terms of where you slice. Um, sorry, zoned out. Okay. I forgot why I was talking about the whole granularity thing. But yeah, I was doing a bunch of research on this, and it was enlightening. I got to learn quite a bit. Okay, so what Gemini suggested was that you could do audio threshold analysis. So instead of trying to understand the audio, and I'm talking about like getting rid of the silence and stuff. So Gemini suggested that instead of trying to understand the audio, you just look at the amplitude of the waveform. So that would be the amplitude of each of the samples in the signal, and based on certain threshold, you decide whether you want to let certain signals through or not, or let certain samples through or not. And Gemini was suggesting initially. Gemini said that okay, this is one way that you could do it, especially because you're using Python and FFmpeg and stuff. You have these options. You can write out like a bit of a program that's gonna uh, automate this process for you. However, there is another method that you can use, and oh yeah, so what Gemini suggested is FFmpeg has a built-in filter called Silence Detect. It's incredibly fast because it doesn't need to render the video to see the volume. How it works, you set a noise threshold, example -30 dB, and a duration, example 5 seconds. The command, it gives this command. I'll just paste the command here. Actually, let me real quick, let me just do this because I don't know what's in my clipboard. So we're going to come in here, come into Scratch Notes, paste it. We are good. Okay. And if I paste something here, that is also fine. Great. So yeah, this is the wait, why is it showing this? Oh, let's disable spell check. Now we are good. Okay, so this is the command, and Gemini said that it will spit out a list of timestamps showing exactly when silence started and ended. Um, it gave like a sort of it gave an example of what the thing would look like. Let me copy paste that as well. So apparently the output is going to look something similar to this, and then I'll have to write some code to just parse this essentially. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to find a way to parse this. I wonder if I wonder if I could benefit from the FFmpeg. What do you call it? There was a Python FFmpeg library, which specifically it focused on filters. Like it was built to make filters a little easier for you. Um, okay, let me look that up. Python FFmpeg. I just remembered that at the beginning of the stream, I had said that we're going to be looking into TensorBoard, um, but then I kind of got distracted. I do need to look into TensorBoard as well. It's just that I'm making crazy progress with this, and I'm getting so many ideas. And it's not even like these ideas are far-fetched. It's just that these ideas that I'm getting, they fit so well into the pipeline that I'm building, which is why I don't want to let the opportunity go, um, because if I spend the time building this, I'm going to be able to generate clips and highlights. So I'm going to be uploading clips, highlights, and VODs. My social media is going to have a bunch of the clips. My second YouTube channel will have a bunch of the highlights, and the VODs channel is going to have all of the VODs. And the VOD upload is going to be automated as well. You know what? I should try to. Yeah, I'm glad that I divided this up into multiple stages. Like currently we are sitting at this. It may seem convoluted to somebody who hasn't looked into this pipeline. It may seem very, very convoluted to someone who hasn't built this pipeline, but then I've built the pipeline and I know the reason why I've created these multiple stages. I'm definitely going to be adding in more stages. Um, so we have Our audio extraction stage, that's a batch processing stage. Um, our audio transcription stage, that's also batch processing. Um, our batch generate metadata stage, which is, yeah, also batch processing. Well, I've named them batch, so they are batch. I don't know why I have to sit and think about the fact that it's batch. Building bundles, definitely batched. And then batch update metadata, that is also batched. Yes, that is batched, definitely. I probably should remove the optional thing because for me it's not optional. Um, for me it's not optional because I am going to be using it. Now, the uh, after the bundles have been generated, then we are doing operations on individual bundles, right? So for each bundle, we could then create clips and create um, we could then create clips and also create what do you call it, highlight videos. But I feel like the clips and the highlight videos are also going to need um, I feel like the clip and highlight videos will also need metadata generated for them, though that's not as important because I can, just think up something. I would want to, play with the SEO. Um, Give me a second. Okay, yeah, I would want to. I forgot what I was saying. Was I saying that I would want to automate the generation of some of that metadata? Like, I mean, if the NLP model in question is generating, or well, I am using NLP models or any kind of language models to generate um, the metadata for a long VOD, I could simultaneously also use NLP models to generate the metadata for each of the clips. But the metadata for each of the clips could be a little different. I could probably use the same. Actually, I don't think I need to. Do I need to? I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to. Because, okay, we've got, did I mention what I think I need to and what I don't think I need to? What I'm wondering is if I need like a different metadata format for this. I'm also realizing that I'm going to need to add more labels to this. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely going to need to add more labels to this. I feel like I'm getting to that point where like I'm what am I trying to say? I feel like what's happening with me right now is what happens when somebody starts working on an application without prototyping. So then it's like, oh, okay, I need this, I need this. So now I'm going to start changing things up. I've started building these systems, but then I need to change things up because, I've updated this and that and that. I feel like I should stop at highlights and clips. I shouldn't go any further from that. I should sit down and think about how I want to go about doing this. That's why yesterday I was writing down this scratch notes list of features. It's supposed to, so the content pipeline is supposed to split audio, generate a transcript, generate metadata, generate clips, generate highlights, and then also upload VODs and upload highlights. Now, it would be beneficial if the highlights had metadata, because the highlights are absolutely going to be more than 5 minutes long. So they're going to be long form YouTube videos. And so they could benefit from similar metadata to the VODs. So we could generate bundles for them as well. But then, should I change? Like, okay, how do we want to go about this? Like we have, let me show you. Like we have a bundles directory. Do we just put all the VODs and all the generated clips into the same directory? So like we have 10 different VOD bundles here, and for each VOD, any of the clip bundles that get generated, we just dump that into this directory as well. Any of the highlight bundles that get generated, dump that in this directory as well. Like how do we want to go about this? Do we even need entire bundles for that? I don't think we need entire bundles for that. Yeah, I don't think we need entire bundles for that. You know what? Yeah, I don't think we need entire bundles for that. I think what we could do is generate, well, okay, the reason I would want separation there is to um, just have them as separate directories so I can read the info whenever I want, and upload based on that. But then am I actually going to be am I actually going to be using the metadata that I create for the clips? I'm going to be using the metadata for the highlights, definitely. So like they could have their own individual clips or their own individual bundles. But then the only reason I would want to create something like that for clips as well is just for the sake of uniformity. We don't need to do that though. Like, okay, another thing that could be done is within this directory itself, I could create another directory called clips. No, no, that's not a good idea. No, that's not a good idea. Um, okay, we have bundles. We could create a clips directory and a highlights directory, and for each clip, we can have. Is there any metadata that the clips would require? That's the question. I could generate the data. I could generate the data. But then is that data going to be used? Because it's going to be used for the highlights, that's for sure. I don't know if it's going to be used for. I don't know if it's going to be used for the clips. What I'm thinking here is, okay, let's say we create a clip called clip O1, or some underscore, no, some hyphen clip hyphen O1. In here, we are going to have a video named some clip o1.mp4, and we are also going to have a some clip o1 metadata.json, right? That's going to be for our clip, and we can have a similar thing for highlights. So we can create some highlight o1 and then create some highlight o1.mp4 and some highlight o1 metadata.json. So then the metadata will be read whenever I run the YouTube upload process for that specific highlight. And then I guess once the upload is complete, I should then delete. Oh yeah, another thing I'm going to be doing. So I've added this. I've added this. Where is it? Here. I've added this extra flag here saying uploaded. And what this is supposed to do is anytime something is uploaded, I'll update its flag in the metadata to say true. And so the next time or anytime an upload is initiated or anytime the upload script is invoked on a specific, let's say VOD, on a specific bundle, anytime oh, you know what I should do? Um, Hold on, let's go back here. We can rename this to clip bundles and rename this to highlight bundles. And this, so now I'll have to change this. We can call this, we can call this video bundles. So we have video and then video bundles. Then we have clip bundles and highlight bundles. So we are going to create the bundles for the clips and highlights. The thing is, when the metadata is being generated, that is when we are, isn't it? No, that's not. No, no, no. There's a separate process where we are generating. There's a separate process where we are generating. Yeah, no, no, no. I'm going to have to write a separate script for generating clips based on a certain timestamp and generating highlights based on certain timestamps. This much is for sure that highlights and clips are going to be generated from the timestamps of VOD bundles or from the timestamps of a specific VOD bundle, specific video bundle, right? But I should create separate, yeah, yeah. Because initially I was thinking about, okay, um, no, how do we need to, we need a way to connect these. Because like what I was thinking was, okay, if we have a VOD, if we have the VOD and there's a description that's already generated, then we generate a highlight out of that. Um, how are we going about? No, no, dude, this entire thing is gonna have to be in one script. It's gonna have to be in one go. Or it could be two separate scripts, but then I have to be mindful of the data that's being read. Yeah, it's going to be like a multi-stage pipeline. Because like, okay, once the bundles are generated, dude, I need to write down these steps. Otherwise, I'm going to start forgetting everything. Um, General workflow. Okay. Um, batch, batch what do I want to say here? Batch audio extraction. No, let's just use the actual names. Batch audio extract. Run batch audio extract on a group of videos to extract audio for each. This produces a group of audio files. Then run batch audio transcribe on group of audio files to extract or to generate transcripts with timestamps for each. This produces a group of what was it called? Transcript. Transcript JSON files. Then after that is done, we run that is where we generate the metadata. Yes, that is where we generate the metadata for. Is it? I think it is. No, hold on. Come up here. Yeah, generate metadata and then build the audio bundle. Audio bundle. Why did I just say audio bundle? Just build bundle. Right. Run batch. What is it called? Batch generate metadata. And then what is update metadata supposed to do? Oh yeah, it's supposed to read the titles from the file that I'm. Okay, run batch generate metadata on. It's running on the transcripts, right? Yeah, on group of transcript JSON files to generate metadata for each yeah, okay, for each. This produces group of what does this produce? Group of metadata files. Yeah, metadata JSON files. Then we run build bundles. Run batch build bundles on group of no. Oh, yeah. Just run batch build bundles. This groups sets of video, audio, transcript, and metadata files by video name, by video file name. Wait, this group so and so. Yeah, this produces bundles for each of the videos, where each bundle contains a video. I feel like this is repeating. Yeah, okay, I'll repeat it. Contains a video, audio, metadata. Metadata comes later on. Transcript and metadata file. Next, we run, what was it? Update metadata. So next we run update metadata. Was that batch as well? That was batch as well, right? Batch update metadata. Run batch update metadata. This goes through every existing bundle and sets the title field in the metadata, in the bundles metadata file, based on what is specified in the VOD titles.json. Is that what it was called? Yeah, that's what it's called. .json file. Note, a VOD titles.json file is required, and the keys in it must match the names of all the existing bundles. Otherwise, the script will fail. The script will fail. Okay, so we update the metadata, and then what are we doing? Save this. So that's how far I've gotten so far in terms of the workflow, because after this point, once we produced the bundles, the idea was, once I've produced these bundles, I can then move all of these bundles over to another machine, and then one by one I can process each of the VODs whenever I have the time. So all of the other additional stages, they could be per VOD stages, not batch stages. Though they would still be batch, but they would be batch operating on multiple clips that belong to a certain VOD and multiple highlights that belong to a certain VOD or belong to that same VOD. So they would be batched in that sense, but they're still working on data for one bundle. So this is where the confusion comes in for whether I should group these clips, whether I should group these clips into the bundle, or if I should have separate clip bundles and separate highlight bundles, because they don't need to be related to the bundle. Actually, yeah, they don't need to be related to the bundle. What I could do is I could generate, and I mean, I will generate an entire list of like timestamps for what I find, what the model finds clippable based on, or actually not just one model, what the entire pipeline finds clippable based on whatever rules, whatever logic I've specified. The idea is that the actual slicing is not going to happen in the cloud. The generation of the timestamps is what's going to happen in the cloud. So in the cloud, or in this case on Kaggle through the Kaggle notebook, I'm going to be feeding the entire audio transcript in there, and that transcript is then going to be actually the transcript and I believe the metadata file as well. No, just the transcript is fine, because the metadata file is not necessarily for clip generation. However, was I going to use anything from the clip, from the metadata in any of the clips or highlights? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, uh yeah, dude, I need to sit down and think about this because I feel like we are on like the last iteration of this. I don't think I'm going to be adding any more features to this. I'm just going to be now polishing it further from this point because now I have the perfect idea for the content pipeline. It's gonna it's gonna analyze the VODs, it's gonna generate clips, it's gonna generate highlights, and it's gonna upload the VODs and the highlights, and then I'll manually upload the clips. I mean, technically, I'm also manually uploading the VODs and the what do you call it, and the highlights, but like I'm not manually uploading it through the web UI. I'm starting up an automatic uploader through Python that's going to read the metadata for each of these, VODs and highlights and stuff in order to determine what details need to be used as title and description and this and that. How am I generating a description? Yeah, how would I be generating a description here? Because I feel like if we are, because like okay, we have the transcript, right? Um, and the transcript has. Hold on, I can show an example of the transcript here. Um, why is there a? Oh, this is Frogmouth. Okay. When did I open this? I don't remember opening this. Anyways, back here. Okay. Explains wave properties. Why did I open these? When did I open these, dude? I guess I was reading this at some point. There was a whole thing that I was studying about waves, and Gemini was helping me out with understanding the concept of waves in general because I was getting really into it. Holy shit, I opened so many of these. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, okay, those are gonna take their time and exit whenever they exit. What was I gonna do? Yeah, I was gonna show the. So this is what our transcript looks like. Okay, now we determine whether. Okay, here's what we can do. For a clip, we can keep a threshold of like 5 minutes because the assumption there is if we keep a threshold of 5 minutes and we find content in there, once I remove all the silence, a good 2 minutes might be shaved off of it. So we're going to be anywhere between, 2 to 3 minutes. But I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch. We could try because I'll have to set like a limit that okay, this is going to be our window that from the entirety of the clip can be a max of or the entirety of the data that you're analyzing for that specific clip, it can be a max of like 5 minutes. And then once we found something that is within that range, and we know that this is a clippable moment, after that I run that through the the silence detection uh, system to to further shorten it down. Essentially, throw in a bunch of jump cuts into it and make the clip shorter. Yeah, yeah. So then for long form clips, I could do, or for highlights basically, I could do, let's say, 20 minutes max, and or well, between 5 and 20 minutes. So we could do 5 to 20 minutes max. And then once we get a clip that's 5 to 20 minutes, I think the once we reduce everything that needs to be reduced, a good like 7 to 10 minutes of that might get shaved off, or anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes might get shaved off. So we get something like 15 to 10 to 15 minutes worth of a clip, or 10 to 15 minutes worth of a highlight to upload, a well edited highlight. So something that has, the silence and stuff removed. And I'm not being too strict with, where the jump cut has to be, like how precise the jump cut has to be. I don't mind like a second or two of silence, but when I have like a lot of extra silence in there, that definitely needs to be cut out. Especially situations where like maybe I zone out or something. That's gonna look funny because or that's gonna sound funny because I zone out a lot as I'm talking. Um, I zone out multiple times during my stream, and then I come back and I'm like, sorry, zoned out. So if all of that gets jump cut, if that gets like removed, then there's gonna be me in the highlights saying, sorry, I zoned out a bunch of times, and then people are gonna be confused. Anyways, I mean that's fine. Um, yeah, dude, that would be that would become kind of that would look kind of silly because the jump cuts don't really like if the section of the silence is if the section of the silence that was caused by me zoning out gets removed, but then later on I'm saying sorry, zoned out, then it's gonna like, anyways, whatever. I mean, we are able to produce the content. We are able to create an automated pipeline to produce the content. I'm not expecting the best quality in terms of clips and highlights, but it won't be entirely bad quality. I can work on the quality later on. Um, that's not a problem. For now, I need to get like a working pipeline going. I need to think about like where do we go from here once we have, hold on. Um, yeah, where do we go from here? Once we've generated the bundles and everything is separated, um, okay, I just noticed the time as well and the prayer that's happening right now. That's probably coming through on stream as well. I think, hold on. Well, I don't think it is. I don't know. Either way, yeah, that's making me realize the time. Um, yeah, I need to, I need to end the stream because I have streamed past the time where I am able to stream. But we got in a good like 1.5 hours worth of stream today, so that's good. Give me a second here. Hold on. Hold on. Uh, I hope there's no. Oh God, it's a verified accounts only chat. Man, I could have gone to this person. Okay, nope. This person is follower only. Uh, I feel like I remember this name from somewhere, and they are also not follower only. Okay, okay. We're gonna see if we are able to set up a raid. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So the raid is going through. So that's gonna be it for today's stream. We made some good progress today. Kinda, kinda. I need to sit down and think this idea through, and think of the workflow and what exactly is going to be done by the script. And I also need to set up the upload script because there's a bunch of like information in there that I have to change. But yeah, I'll keep working on this off stream. That's going to be it for today's stream. I hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.